Hello again, everyone. Welcome back. Today is Tuesday, August 31st. This is week 2 on Shitcoin Solutions. We're going to start with the current state of the market. Then our main segment today will be discussing if investing in crypto is right for you, and if so, how to get started doing so. Rick, tell them what cryptocurrency is.
Before we talk about what a cryptocurrency is, let's talk about the current state of crypto. Today is 8/31/2021, and it's kind of a mixed review here. We got Bitcoin that is sitting at 47,083.09, down 2.5% over the last 24 hours. Ethereum 3,362.57, up 2%. So, you got opposite ends there. Usually they kind of run somewhat together, but Ethereum's running a little bit today, which is good.
I got that notification.
Cardano, ADA, number 3 on Coin Market Cap, $2.76, down 1.61%. BNB, Binance Coin, is at $465.31, down 2.18%. And number 5 is Tether. That one would be $1, and it's down nothing. And it's never up nothing because it's always a dollar. And that wraps up our top coins. 5.
Anything new trending, new releases, or anything like that this week? Something that's not on the top of the list usually.
Hold on.
Any new hot shit coins?
In the Nft market, the number 1 would be Theta. Theta, $6.60, but it's down 1.45%. All the NFT market's down a little bit today. Usually it's doing really good, but if you look at it if you zoom out just a little bit and look at it over the last week, it's everything's up. You got stuff down here that's up 100%, 60%, 70%, stuff like that, all over the market. NFTs are hot right now. Tezos is up 31% for the week. Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that pretty much covers the current state of the market.
In DeFi, Uniswap, 28.59 and 4.18% up today. First, let's talk about what currency is. Currency is a system of value implemented for the exchange of goods or services. Started kind of with the barter system with chickens and trade and things like that. Eventually, it worked its way into gold and silver being a system of value. Coins, the gold and silver was, they were doing it by poundage, and that was just too hard to weigh things out, so they changed it into coins, just to make it easier. Then they started implementing bills, to the dollar bills and other forms of paper money. Credit cards eventually took over. I remember, in my lifetime, hearing the conversations of credit cards and their worth and value and will they last. By the time I get to my age, well, I even know what a credit card is, that hearing that as a kid. And I do remember as a kid watching those. They put the card in there and they got to slide it in order for that to take a picture of it, basically, so that they've got a document.
Like a carbon copy, wasn't it? And that
like a card,
yeah.
And so I remember that, and eventually it's got to the point where everyone has a debit card, and the prepaid credit cards, and I've actually got credit cards from Cash App that Lee can send me money from his Cash App to my Cash App, and it's instantly on that debit card. And that leads us into the new technology of cryptocurrency. And It's basically it's a digital or virtual currency that is secured by cryptography, and the cryptography is a program that makes it nearly impossible to counterfeit or double spend. It's pretty simple. I don't want to get to the too technical side of aspects of things, but you've got centralized and decentralized forms of the currencies. I don't know that we need to talk a whole lot about that. Centralized means that there's a governing branch that controls the how that money is allocated and stored, basically. Um, and you've got the decentralized, which no one person can go in there and manipulate the market in that form of currency. It's controlled by we the people, basically. It's voted upon, and there has to be consensus in order for that to be changed in any way.
Essentially, it should eliminate things like insider trading and market manipulation and things of that nature to benefit certain groups or certain individuals.
Yeah. You got the various blockchains that are associated with cryptocurrencies, and that's just a form of a ledger, a public ledger, so that everything is visible and you can see, go in there and start looking and see, that it's not been manipulated, and that makes the transparency very, very accessible to anyone and everyone. You can go on to like etherscan.com or .net or whatever it is, and go in there and see who has the most ether in their wallet. You can't see who it is, but you can see the wallet address and see that one person has X amount of ether in their wallet address, and that makes a lot of cryptocurrencies very approachable, because you can kind of basically see, it's one person controlling interest of 60% of it, and if he decides to dump 60% of it all at one time, flooding the market, then the price is going to go down because the demand is not going to be able to meet the supply.
Tell them what we call somebody who owns 60% of the supply, or a large
that's
quantity of crypto is called.
It's called a whale. That's 60% is a big ass whale.
Yeah, that's a lot. There's usually not. There shouldn't be any whales that big. I don't think in any coin. That's kind of the purpose. They kind of make that not impossible, but they make that less likely or less available without spending.
I mean, if you look on a ledger and you see one person and it's a public address and they've got 60% of that currency, you may want to.
That's a red flag.
Well, you want to do some more investigating and figure out why, because sometimes those are exchange wallets, and they just got the majority of the liquidity locked up within that wallet. So, you just want to kind of do some research on that. I wouldn't say that to run, but just figure out why. If Uniswap's got 60% of the liquidity locked up in one wallet, well, it's because they're trading within that wallet. So,
right.
They face criticism for a number of reasons. They used to be known for illegal activities. You've got drug dealers and stuff, because you can see the wallet address, but no one can come and take that money out of that wallet address, because you've got a private set of keys to that wallet. And without that private set of keys to that wallet, there's no access to it. The cryptography prevents other people from getting into that wallet.
Right.
So it was, drug dealers and gun runners, and you got the child stuff that goes on with any kind of illegal activity and stuff, and if they're buying and selling kids and women and men or whatever, it's an easy way to get around the law. And you can't use a bank account or checking account for that kind of stuff, because eventually they come and take your money, but they can't do
It's
that.
not as traceable. You can see certain aspects, but it's not as traceable.
Yeah.
And it definitely, when it started, that's the first thing I remember about Bitcoin was black market or dark web is like first things I heard associated with Bitcoin when I very first heard about it probably 10 plus years ago. And so of course I didn't put much on it, like, oh, that's just what all the people that are dealing drugs and doing the little things, that's how they're getting it done, instead of shipping, people or cars full of money, this and that. They figured out how to hide it a little better.
Yeah.
So like that was the image 10 years ago.
Yeah, that was a while back. I mean,
Yeah.
a lot's happened over the last decade when it comes to cryptocurrency. You've got so many. The evolution of cryptocurrency is really starting to take form. You've got several ways that you can earn cryptocurrency, and without paying for the actual currency itself. You can mine cryptocurrency, and we'll get into that on another episode. But mining is basically you're using equipment. Typically, with mining, it's using GPUs or the CPU to find blocks to solve a puzzle within the cryptography, so that the ledger can move forward, and you can close out a send or a receive, and you are rewarded with a small share of that currency, whichever one you're mining. Let's say Bitcoin, you'll get a very, very small percentage of a Bitcoin for solving the riddle, so solving the puzzle. And
basically that's comparable to Visa verifying a transaction, correct? Isn't that what we're doing for we're verifying a transaction and confirming that it's a legit, it's actually happened, and we confirmed it for them, and so we get paid a little fee for doing some work for them.
Yep.
So
farming works in the same way, except for the way we farm is with hard drives instead of with the GPUs. And then you've got another way to earn, and that's with reflections. Certain tokens and coins have a small percentage of their buy and their sell that's broken down and distributed back to all token holders of that token. So that's called a reflection. It reflects back to the token holders as a reward system for them holding on to the coin and creating stability within that ecosystem.
We'll touch more on that when we get into a pancake swap or another episode explaining it and showing you how that happens. But that's a pretty good time segment for what is cryptocurrency. Let's get on to some new shit. Why was crypto created? Well, crypto was created right around the time of the 2008 financial crisis, when the markets collapsed and everything that Wall Street did to screw up global economics. I wouldn't even say just the United States, but global economics. And so somebody had the idea of, well, how can we get Wall Street, the banks, the Fed, and everybody, what can we do to create a monetary value of currency that the people can control, the people can verify, and hopefully in that process eliminate the manipulation, the fraud, the whatever, everything they did, hiding the stuff that caused the crisis to begin with. And so we don't know exactly if one person or a group of people, but under a pseudonym. That's how Bitcoin was initially created, was to more or less, compete with the dollar, fiat money, other fiat money across the world, and give people an unregulated but still verifiable way to send and receive money. And so it was, well, every it's called Satoshi's, correct, Rick? Isn't that what?
Yes.
Yeah, Satoshi. No one knows the true identity of the Bitcoin creator. If it was a group of people, a single person, everybody has speculations and this and that. But whoever this person was, did it under the pseudonym Satoshi, and uh, they started it. They just created it and created the idea and came up with it. What do they say about necessity is the mother of all invention, or something to that effect? And the global market collapsed, and somebody saw a need for something different, and so Bitcoin was created and invented. And Bitcoin's hovering around 48,000 right now per coin,
Let me look.
give or take. And
Yeah, it was about 48. Yeah.
Yeah, and at the time, Bitcoin, you could mine Bitcoin, quote unquote, for free. I remember seeing some games online that gave Bitcoin for 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th place in contests. Originally, it was a currency that had no value in the beginning until people bought into it. That's what people don't understand about crypto a lot of times. Is crypto it's not something you're going to hold in your hands. You can convert it to fiat money, but people buying into the idea that it has value and that it's backed by, I guess, consumer confidence, essentially. And now more so also getting into institutional confidence, because a lot of institutions have invested in it. So, people say, oh, well, is it fake money or is it real money? Can you make, no, you can, there is a Bitcoin ATM in a gas station I went to recently.
Oh, really?
That you can sell. Yeah. It's out in East End. I saw my first one.
Huh.
I took a picture of it because I was so
I think
wow.
I may have seen it on Facebook.
Yeah, it's out of Breckenridge Lane. Yeah. And so, you can put cold hard cash in your wallet, in your bank, or pay your bills with cryptocurrency, because it's been established, it's been valued, and it is, even though it's unregulated, the consumer confidence and now the institutional investing confidence behind it has created a market. Multiple, I think there's over 10,000 cryptos now. Obviously, not all of them are going to be successful and have value and take off. Yeah, but so yeah, that's why crypto was created, was to give it was a currency for the people, by the people, in hopes to eliminate crooked, shady Wall Street and other political type manipulations and of the market that we have. So, should you invest in the cryptocurrency?
Yep.
we say yes. That being said, we are not financial advisors.
He's not.
Do your own research. Invest what you are willing to potentially lose. Much like the stock market, there's no backing. There's no FDIC. There's no, you put in $100 and you're guaranteed to always withdraw $100. It's it's volatile. That's for sure. Rick can tell you a specific instance on our learning curve, and one of the reasons we developed this show was to keep you all from doing what we did in that actual instance. Let them tell about that, Rick.
Which one was that?
I can't remember the name of the coin. Just say it. A nameless new coin that when we were first getting into it, and
$1,000, 17.
Yeah, yeah. Because since we don't remember exactly what coin it is, we won't name a coin.
So this nameless coin, we put $1,000 into it, and this was right, like everything. It was right in the middle, right at the height of this bull run, and Bitcoin was probably,
this is what, early April, probably
$60,000 at the time, 58 at the time when we've done it, which means everything else was at its peak too.
Right.
And, the market started doing some pullbacks. It always does, and so I didn't think nothing about it. We had some very, very good luck with several other coins, so we decided to go ahead and let it ride. $1,000 went from $1,000 to $2,200, and then from $2,200, all this stuff that's here behind me. I was just starting to build this, and I was at the end of my semester in college last spring, so I was kind of distracted. And I was like, it'll rebound, no big deal. And next thing I know, it was at $600, and I was like, hey, we've lost considerable amount of money. There was a lot of China FUD going on. and they were the world's largest Bitcoin mining operation, and
Yeah.
they controlled a very large portion of that. And if you know anything about cryptocurrency at all, if Bitcoin starts to drop in price, it typically will pull the majority of the market down with it. So wasn't too concerned about it. And then next thing you know, Bitcoin is at 29,000, and that $1,000 nameless coin was 17 cents.
Yeah. So 99.99% loss. Bitcoin, for lack of a better term, how I describe it.
17 cents.
Yeah, that was a little painful because technically at the time that was my $1,000 that dissipated to nothing, and I was like, okay, well that's just gone. But Bitcoin, I like, for lack of a better term, an easier way to break it down, I think it's the gold standard in crypto. Whatever Bitcoin is doing affects the entirety of the market. For the most part, there are a few exceptions here and there that other coins will move independently, but if Bitcoin is going through the roof on a bull run, it's generally dragging the entire market and every coin either to new all-time highs or at least bring them up substantially from where they were. So Bitcoin went from 60,000 when we invested my $1,000 to 30,000. Bitcoin itself, the king of the market, had a 50% drop. So imagine what a little quote unquote shitcoin.
It was only 3 weeks old at the time.
Yeah. And the thing about these shitcoins is they can take off one day and be worth a penny, and then you put in $500 and then it goes up 10x, and you're excited because you got $5,000, and you leave it thinking, man, I'm gonna keep riding this train. It's exactly the mentality we had. We had several successful days. I think at one point we went up. I'm sorry, not made. We went up 23,000 in 4 days on our total balance sheet, and that was like mind blowing. I think one day we went up $9,000 or a little over a day. Balance sheet went up. Me and Rick were like, what? Like, is
we
this
had one
like
coin that went up $16,000 in 6 hours, and I wasn't able to do anything about it because we were so
Yeah.
new into it. I was unable to sell it because I did not know how.
Yeah. So, but so that coin that starts out at a penny and goes up 10x, 20x, and you're excited and you're letting your money ride, and then all of a sudden it goes down to a tenth of a penny, a hundredth of a penny, and your 500 is $5.50, or then it gets. So there is volatility in a lot of coins. Bitcoin, and a lot of your ETH and certain other ones, are more stable. But when it's coming down to it,
you could still lose 50% in 3-4
Yeah.
days in Bitcoin.
Correct. I mean, you can do that. I mean, I think the stock market is less volatile, but it is still volatile in the same too. If something goes on a bad tank or they get bad quarterly earnings, it's no different. I mean, it's a bigger risk, bigger reward. But there are places you can put money that is safer. You can invest in just a coin that just pays interest, or you can buy some coin and stake it and just earn an interest and ride out the fluctuations of the coin value. So if investing in crypto is right for you, that's a personal decision for me, person to person. I mean, I try to get everybody I can into it, but I haven't been successful because people are scared and don't have the knowledge to do it.
You asked, should I invest in cryptocurrency? And I jumped and said yes. And here's my reason for saying yes. If you invest, if you have money out of your pocket, out of your bank account, invested in something, you're going to pay more attention to it.
Yeah.
The more you pay attention to cryptocurrency, the more you're going to learn. The
Sure.
more you're going to learn, the wiser you'll be on the decisions you make when it comes to cryptocurrencies. That's just the reality of our situation. And, it was costly for us in the beginning. Exciting. It's still exciting. It's still exciting.
Yeah, for sure.
We wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't still exciting to us.
No, we're not.
I would
We're
have
not paid to do this.
got moved on to something else.
For sure.
So that's my explanation as to why I believe, if there's a question, should you or should you not? Yes, I believe you should. And that's just because you'll start paying more attention to it.
And something I think a lot of people say, oh, well, I missed out on Bitcoin. I missed, what's the next one? Like I said, when I first got into this on the first episode, Bitcoin was just under 10,000. So if I'd have put 10,000 in at the time, I'd have almost $50,000. Well, it's projected. This isn't mine and Rick's, projection, but projected by market analysts and hedge funds and other people that Bitcoin is going to go over $100,000 in value by the end of the year. Well, that being said, if it's 48,000 now, if you invested $10,000 in Bitcoin by the end of the year, you'd have $20,000. Of course, you could also have $1,000, but you haven't missed the train. I mean, everybody wishes they'd have got in on Apple when it first hit the market, or Amazon, or whatever was. There was always something new that people were unsure of, and if you took the risk and it paid off, you really hit home. And Bitcoin, in everybody's opinion, still has a lot. I mean, I've heard people think that it's going to end up over $250,000 per coin in 5 to 10 years. So there's still a lot of room for growth. So a lot of room for shrinking in between all that growth. It just depends on
that they're valuating at $50,000, and that doesn't mean that a year from now they're going to evaluate that at $50,000.
Right. And so I mean, it depends if you're a long hauler and you just want to drop money in. There's multiple different ways to invest and make money in crypto, but you really got to do a lot. I mean, we just started this podcast, but I'd say both of us have roughly 1,000 hours of videos, readings, playing with apps, missing thousands of dollars of profit, spending thousands of dollars on equipment to get to this point, to even talk about it and try to pass on a little bit of knowledge that we've gained in 4 months. And I mean, the biggest thing we've learned is that the crypto market's vast. I sent my money to Rick to invest it, and then realized that it's so vast that he's going to be more successful if I can help him in the areas I can help him, even if that's just information. Even though he knows the tech, there's no way that one person. I mean, we even need more help than we got, but we do better with 2 than we ever would with 1. Yep. And we've created a group chat that more or less for that reason, more or less just to recruit the eyes and ears on the entirety of the market and help us keep up with it, because it's so vast. Don't just jump into it and think you're going to hit a home run on your own. Definitely get under somebody's wing or seek advice and make friends and that's the thing with crypto. I have no reason not to share. I don't understand. It's not like I'm getting on the inside deal of a hot stock and you're gonna cost me money if I let you in on it. Yeah. Helping the next person helps the entire market, which helps me.
Yep.
So, but that's
more people investing to jump on these trains. Anyways, the larger the market cap becomes,
sure,
and the larger the market cap becomes, the more valuation each coin has, and that does nothing but help everyone. So
yeah. So do your research, ask a friend, ask us, email us, search us out, whatever. Always glad to help new people. Now, the thing is, we can't do it for you. I can't sit down and give you the A to Z on here's how to make money in crypto. YouTube, that would be the A to Z. Get on there, Google, research, and put the hours in. I mean, I can send you the apps, I can give you information, things of that nature, but nobody can say, oh, well, how do I make money in crypto? Well, if it was that easy, everybody would be making money in crypto. So that being said, if you decide that you want to invest in crypto, we're going to talk about how you start. Rick, tell them how they start investing in crypto.
I didn't see that on my notes. So,
oh, it's okay. Well, I'll take off with it.
I mean, go ahead. I'm gonna let you. I'll jump in as I can. I just didn't see that on here, so I was not prepared for that.
Oh, it's okay. Robinhood was where I started.
Me too.
I started with Coinbase years ago, but when I started getting more into it this year, I heard about Dogecoin on Robinhood. I heard about Dogecoin, and Robinhood at the time was an easy place to get it. When I was going to buy it, jumped in. It was just one of the simplest interfaces.
As a disclaimer, real fast, with Robinhood, you do not own your crypto. You are trading with their crypto.
Right.
So
it's kind of like owning a share of Robinhood's crypto. You don't technically own your own coin. You can't transfer it, you can't send it, you can't pay with it. you don't control it. You control the value, you control your share of it. You don't actually own the coin. You can't send it to your wallet and close your Robinhood and take it with you like you can a lot of other apps.
Sometimes their price will vary drastically, and sometimes just a little bit too.
Sometimes it can benefit you one way, sometimes it can cost you another. I don't even remember why I turned to Robinhood, but it was just
user friendly, man. I mean, for me, it was.
Well, that plus I think it was on the news, or a lot of people, like I think a lot of people were just plugging it, and it was before I understood that you could send the crypto, not that you weren't really owning it. It was months down the road before I understood that you didn't technically own 2,500 Dogecoin or 10,000 Dogecoin. It was months before I really understood that. But I got on there, and like Rick said, when I bought in, then it was, well, I wonder what my $175 worth of Dogecoin's worth. So then you start watching the market, because then when the market does something, then you want to go check that balance. Then you're paying attention more. Then you're reading more. And then it turned into, well, there's more than Dogecoin. I need help. Rick knows how to, has a little more technical aspect. At the time I had Coinbase. I think I had some Litecoin on Coinbase. Coinbase and Robinhood are probably the two simplest interfaces for beginners. I prefer Coinbase. I guess I want to say I have a sour taste in my mouth with Robinhood. Do your own research on their history, but several times they've seemed to do things that they can't manipulate the market, but they can manipulate your personal buying and selling functions, which has an effect of manipulation on the market in a sense. If you're up 200% and the volume's really high and they cut you off trading, you can't sell until you get back to 75% profit. Well, how much did you just miss out on because they couldn't handle the volume, or they say that it's too volatile, blah, blah, whatever.
Or they're doing an upgrade to their servers right in the middle of a peak. And if you look at the charts, you can see that it's obviously getting ready to go down because it's went up too fast, too high, too fast. And then that's the moment that they choose to shut down the servers and not give you trading abilities.
My understanding of Robinhood, because they don't own the coin, they have to have the cash capital for whatever people are buying and trading, and that can be problematic for them. That's one day they had more cash volume coming in than they had on hand, because Robinhood will let you instantly trade even though your cash isn't in their actual account.
So you have accounts yet.
You have three. So if 10 million people invested $10 million in a day, and they don't have liquid cash on hand to go buy that from the market, since you're not buying it direct, they're in a pickle. A lot of times that seems like that's when they've the high volume have mysteriously
AMC or something. Which one was that?
Yeah, well, you had GameStop and
GameStop. That's what it was. GameStop.
Yeah, when GameStop was going crazy, they magically would suspend trading.
Or only allow you to do so much or whatever, so much.
Yeah.
And I understand that, that if they're not physically able to go purchase those securities, they can't tell people that they went and purchased those securities, because that's all time stamped. And that's right. SEC regulations and stuff. So, I mean, I get a lot of that. But when it comes to cryptocurrency, you just buy it.
Right. So I'm not going to. Well, I can only, my personal experience is that I have a sour taste in my mouth with Robinhood. That's where I started with stocks. That's where I started with crypto, both, other than the Coinbase Litecoin a few years ago. But Robinhood really got me into it. Their user interface and stuff, the app was easy, and it got my interest. It kept me coming back more frequently.
I do not have one penny on their site.
No.
But I look at their app 100 times a day because I love their charts.
Yeah, that's a fair assessment. I even got so frustrated that I took a loss on some stocks, and just to cash out my accounts and put the money elsewhere. Like I don't have maybe a couple pennies that I couldn't transfer, couldn't sell, or what. I have less than $1 on Robinhood. But like Rick said, usually if I'm going to grab a quick chart, at least for Bitcoin, ETH, or the popular coins that they tend to have, the more higher up market cap coins, it's generally going to be Robinhood.
Yep.
Just ease of use and familiar with it, and but it's not something that I want to tell you to. That's not where I would start currently. Currently, I would go with Coinbase. Coinbase recently became publicly traded. Even though that doesn't mean they're insured or anything else, to me it gives them a little more validity and security. I think they're second to Binance, right? Aren't they? I think on overall users. I would have put Binance on the list, and I'm still mentioning them, but there have been, I mean, what would you call that? Some investigations coming up, and there's I don't know. There's some cloudy.
The SEC is going through every single security that they consider security, every exchange, any way and everything that they can to slow down cryptocurrency until that they can grab a hold of it.
Right.
That's what I see. So they're going through every exchange and every currency that they can, one at a time.
We still trade and we'll buy BNB on Binance, but I personally don't have but some dust, maybe less than $1 total of what I had stored on Binance, just because they like I said, they've drawn a spotlight for, I don't know the reason. I don't know if it's just, Big Brother poking around. Yeah, it could just be that, or it could be there maybe be some backdoor dealings or things that they're not doing right. But Coinbase, knock on wood, since I've been with them, hasn't had any major collapses, troubles, this or that, and it's pretty simple. Now, from my knowledge, it does have the probably highest transaction fees on regular Coinbase. There is a pro version. Once you get used to using Coinbase, if you feel like stepping up, it's less user friendly, but that's why the fees are less, because you are doing more of the work to make the transactions happen. Therefore, they charge you less because they're not simplifying it, kind of holding your hand through it as much. We are going to have hopefully some videos in the notes on how to set up A to Z, link your bank account, everything, a YouTube video. Like I said, when it comes to apps, I think at any given point, me and Rick probably have 20 to 25 each on our phone. And you'll yeah, it's insane.
I've got probably 8 or 9 I use every day,
right?
Several times a day.
It's also one of those things we found out that once you get past the beginner level, the more you hedge the risk of your money getting locked up, shut down, hacked, or anything. You just spread your risk out. We'll talk about that on a later episode. But like I said, I'm not paid for or sponsored by Coinbase or anything like that. But it was my way to get in. It was the easiest, in my opinion, short of Robinhood. But I don't like Robinhood for personal reasons. So I would recommend Coinbase. We're going to post a video that'll literally show you step by step, download it, sign up, how to link your bank account, how to literally purchase coins, and get you started.
If you're looking for a more traditional exchange, Gate.io or Bitmart.
Yeah.
I
like Voyager.
Yeah, Voyager. Yeah,
Voyager's pretty simple, but Voyager. The only thing I had with Voyager didn't take my bank account. Didn't take PNC. Yeah. So that was the only reason I struggled. And I still send money to Voyager from other ones and do things. But Voyager is a good one if they take your bank account. Yeah. Like I said, I just picked Coinbase because it's publicly confident. It's traded. It's a publicly traded company. It's a little more mainstream, I guess, if you want to put it. But that's pretty much on if you choose to invest, how to start. And like I said, we'll have video link in the show notes. We'll also have some notes on the first topic, what is cryptocurrency. You get a little more reading beyond our explanations if you want. But that pretty much wraps up our intro to crypto. It's time for some shameless shilling of some coins, and Rick's got some notes on that.
All right, the shameless plug of the week. Since this episode was on Bitcoin, we're gonna shamelessly plug Bitcoin. Here is my reasoning behind that. If you look at the charts and you got a pretty good understanding of what you're looking at there, what I'm personally seeing is somewhat of a bull flag, meaning that it's poised to take off. I hate to say that because I've been wrong
Yeah,
a couple times.
He's cost me some money.
A couple times, and but here's the real reason why. Bitcoin has an upgrade coming up. It's their first upgrade in over 4 years. This was approved by miners around the world. They had like the first consensus that they've had ever. Like the last upgrade, it was described as World War I when it come to should we do this upgrade or not. There was a big division. So the name of this upgrade is Taproot, and it is due to take place in this November. So that's coming up here soon. It will include greater transaction privacy and efficiency. The privacy is basically, let me see how I describe this down here. Basically, just kind of cloaks the some of the smaller end transactions and makes them virtually unreadable. Right now, they're currently using what's called the elliptic curve digital signature algorithm.
Yeehaw.
Yeah,
that's a mouthful.
Right, no kidding. But they'll be changing it to the Schnorr signatures, and that is what is cloaking the multi-signature transactions and making them, says unreadable, but I mean nothing unreadable. People are going to find a way to figure it out,
Oh, sure.
to trace things or whatever. But if it's giving you any more privacy, that's a good thing. You'll still be able to see the ledger. You just may not be able to see as much of wallet addresses and who's creating transactions and things like that. One of the most important things, probably the single most important thing, personally, I think, on this upgrade is that it unlocks smart contracts. And that opens up a tremendous amount of new opportunities and possibilities. It really does. The NFT market is.
I'll say they're actually a little late on that with coming with that, really, because what do you got? ADA and all the other ones that have,
They've been working on this for a long time.
Yeah.
And they cannot get this wrong, because if they do, people will lose confidence in Bitcoin and a lot of other coins as well.
The market in general.
Yeah, Ethereum just did their upgrade, and they experienced this for a couple of days. I think it was Ethereum that did it. Don't quote me on it, but I think it was them. The blockchain split for a couple of days, to where like if you were running the old software and not the new, then some of your transactions were going a little late or something, and yeah, so you were able to double dip on certain parts of the blockchain. And
oh wow, I hadn't heard that.
So they had to do a very quick assessment and fix it, because basically what it did was create a fork, and so they're doing everything. Bitcoin's doing everything that they can to prevent this thing from forking, because if you have a fork in Bitcoin, then that's forking bad news, buddy.
Yeah.
But so you can take previous upgrades that included smart contracts to basically guess on what's going to happen with Bitcoin. Look at where Ethereum's at right now. They would not be where they're at right now if it was not for smart contracts.
Right.
Would not. They are really being elevated because of their smart contracts. Binance Smart Chain, smart contracts. That's what's elevated BNB to be where they're at right now.
Right.
Cardano is finishing their Alonzo upgrade in the middle of September, middle of next month, the 12th. And look what just happened with them. They just 3 times over the last 6 weeks, Ripple, XRP, they, because of their contracts, smart contracts, that's helped them get where they're at. Tezos. I mean, the list goes on and on. Everybody that has smart contracts, their coins are doing very well. So I believe this could be a game changer for Bitcoin. As with anything, you're going to see a lot of buy the news, sell the event. In this situation, it's gonna burst up, all leading right up into the moment where they release this upgrade, and then what happens? You could see somewhat of a pullback, and then it could take off again, or you could just see a pullback. So that's not financial advice, but that is just looking at past events and seeing what happened with those, and knowing that Bitcoin is they've got an $888 billion market cap.
Right.
Total cryptocurrency, this was as of last night, 2.1 trillion. So, they're controlling 2/3 of it. Sorry,
a little over a third of it.
Yeah, a little over a third of it. Sorry. Yeah. The total NFT market cap as of July 16th, according to Yahoo Finance, was $17 billion. And I was looking at something, I can't remember the numbers, but it was something like 500 million a year ago.
Yeah.
So that's
my biggest thing.
Big growth in a year,
How it ties into the intro to crypto is it's other than a true stable coin, which mocks the fiat currency, the dollar value, and doesn't fluctuate. Bitcoin is probably the most stable of all the coins overall, and has the most confidence. I mean, Wall Street, I think in the last 3 months has dumped almost a $500 million in it between different hedge funds and stuff like that. So that fact that if you had to say what's a safe bet, it may not make you the most money. So not a financial advisor, but based on people who are financial advisors investing in that, if you want to tinker, if you want to play, Bitcoin is kind of the put your foot in the water, test it out. And you're not, like I said, you're not going to be like, oh my gosh, I turned my 50 into 5,000 in 3 days. But if you want to start tinkering and having some confidence until you learn, Bitcoin is a good place to start. Something I didn't know in the beginning. You can buy very small fractions. You can buy $5 of Bitcoin. It may cost you $3 in a transaction fee to buy the $5, but you can buy, just tiny amounts, so whatever, if you do 20 a week, whatever. But yeah, Bitcoin is your safe play. It's your quote unquote gold standard. And since we were doing the intro to crypto, that's why we decided to shill Bitcoin and explain about it a little bit more. I think that pretty much wraps up the show.
Yeah, that was fun. We should do it again next week. Okay, so for the NFT of the week, this is Watching the Fall. I created this last year, and everybody say hi to Silas over there.
Yep, special guest.
Special guest of the week.
Up from his nap and ready to go.
Yeah. So this NFT is digital art, and on sale for 0.25 BNB. The proceeds go to Stepworks Recovery Center. And if there's anyone else out there that's a recovering addict and would like to put their art on the show as an NFT and donate the proceeds, just send us a message in the show notes, and or send us an email, and we'll have the email contact at the bottom, and just let us know, and we will post your art on here as well. Love to get as many people as interactive on this as we can. This is a good cause. That's where I went to get sober. I've been sober for 3 years, and if it wasn't because of it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here today, and I know that. They really helped me and a lot of other people out a lot. So thank you very much for all your support, and stay shitty.
Shitcoin Solutions is intended for entertainment and educational purposes only. We are not financial advisors and are not registered to provide financial advice. Our opinions and the opinions of the guests of our show are strictly our own. The cryptocurrencies discussed on the show and various forms of social media are not a solicitation to purchase or sell any security in any form. If you decide to buy or sell any of the cryptocurrencies or securities discussed on the show, Shitcoin Solutions is not responsible for any gains nor losses that result from the opinions of the host or guest. The best way to learn about any of the vast amounts of cryptocurrencies available is to do your own research.